Good evening. I'm going to call the February 25th school board meeting to order. We're starting with a closed session, and so this is obviously something that we don't do a lot. It's something that we take very seriously, and because of the circumstances, I'm just going to give a quick outline, and then Mr. Stokes is going to go a little bit more in depth. I think I want to start by saying that obviously everything that we discuss in here is confidential, and so we need to remember whatever we, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman. Before you adjourn to the closed session, you do have adoption of the agenda
Okay.
on the agenda, so that needs to be done in open session.
Okay, so
I move that we adopt the agenda.
second. We have a motion by Laurel, a second by Joe. Any discussion? Discussion from the public? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
And you can now officially convene the closed session.
All right, thank you. So, as I was saying, this is all confidential, and so we want to make sure that we District School Board. Just for the public's information, we did convene at 5:30 and we have adopted our agenda at that point. And so at this point, we will be reconvening. Will you please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The fifth item on the agenda will be the superintendent's report. This is for information only. Mr. Stokes.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members of the board, I'd like to welcome our guests and families with us this evening. And in lieu of my comments, Mr. President, I am happy to turn time over to the agenda and go through our students and their activities so that we can hear about the good things that they've been doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Stokes. Next item on the agenda is board reports and board member comments. This is for information only, and we will start with Pioneer High School.
Sorry, hi. Okay, so here are the activities and events for Pioneer High School. So first I have February 21st and 23rd, speech and debate competed in Elko. And then the 25th, today juniors participated in ACT testing. And then the 27th through March 12th, Pioneer High School Rock Climbing Club will be in Reno. And then March 4th, Project Discovery Trip will be taking place in Squaw Valley. And then recently we had Dan Davis produce a promotional video for us, which is pretty cool. And you can see it on Carson City School District website. And then congratulations to Pioneer student Leonard. He qualified for state with CHS ski team. And then that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Carson High School.
Hi. Last week, both girls and boys basketball teams played in the regional playoff games. And today, the girls' basketball coach, Doug Whistler, was named the Sierra League Coach of the Year.
Congrats.
And then today, all the juniors took the ACT, and so freshmen, sophomores, and seniors had the day off. And then tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday, the skiing team has their state meet, and there is 5 students competing, and they have 1 alternate for the boys. And then Friday, the FFA, Future Farmers of America, has a fundraiser, which is Kiss the Goat. And so people donate money, and one of the teachers will have to kiss a goat. And then this week, spring.
What kind of goat is it?
We can ask Mr. Mann.
I don't know.
I was a 4-H goat raiser, that's why I'm wondering.
And then this week, spring sports started, which are boys golf, softball, baseball, track, and swimming. And that is it. Thank you.
So Ginger, see, the trustees are just as immature as the high school kids.
Yeah,
We like those kinds of things.
it doesn't get better in life.
Stacy.
I just wanted to thank Sheila Story and the cheer team for being able to judge Mr. Carson High. And I was very thankful that the bathing suit part had been taken down a little. So that was very appreciative. It was a really good time, and they raised a lot of money for the cheer team, and I appreciated. I'm not sure I like sitting between the mayor and the sheriff, but it worked out all right.
Laurel.
For Fritch Elementary School, next week is their reading week, and next Thursday, March 5th at 5:30 is their Dr. Seuss celebration. So they have all kinds of fun Dr. Seuss themed activities. For Fremont Elementary School, this week is reading week, and they're in the middle of it. I will be, several of you will be guest readers. I will be there Thursday morning guest reading. And their challenge is to send Dr. Ward to the moon. And if the students read 20,000 minutes this week, they're going to duct tape her to the wall by the rocket. So that could be something fun to come back to if they hit that goal.
All right, Lupe.
Okay, at Empire, the principal is inviting us to the STEM Family Night on March 5th, and she hopes to see all the school board trustees there, so please mark your calendars. And then for Mark Twain, they completed the ESL access testing. Thank you to the students and staff for working so hard. The PTO Jumpathon was a success, and the principal thanks the PTO for the support to Mark Twain. Thank you to Dr. Austin for going to speak to the ESL family at the family night to inform them about the program. And then upcoming events is the GO-CAT testing for GATE nominees on March 9th through the 11th. On March 13th is the end of the third quarter. 3.20 PTO bingo night and ice cream social at 5:30. ESL family night on March 24th. Parent-teacher conferences and minimum day will be on the 25th and 26th of March. And their fifth grade band will be performing at Band Aroma with all CCSD bands on 3/26. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Don? All right, Richard?
Yes, for Carson Middle School, today the eighth grade red team made a trip to UNR just to get some exposure to the college experience. On Thursday, the 27th, the Carson Middle School will be holding their eighth grade college and career fair, and that'd be held during the encore classes. For Boardwalk Bray, they recently completed their standard student attire surveys, and based upon the results from the parents, they will no longer have an SSA policy. And starting March 17th, they're adopting a new dress code will go into effect. And all parents will be receiving the information about the new dress code in their peaches this week. Their PTA is finishing the Save Around coupon book fundraiser this week. All fundraising books and orders are due back to the classroom teachers by Friday, February 28th. And they're hosting a STEAM night, Science, Technology, Engineering, Art, and Mathematics night on Thursday, February 27th from 5:30 to 7 p.m. And this is going to be held in the multipurpose room. And they also are starting their reading week this Monday. And Monday happens to be Dr. Seuss's birthday, apparently. And your sister's birthday. Happy birthday to your sister. And they're also going to be starting their testing for GATE nominations on March 3rd through March 6th. And that's the conclusion of my report.
Joe?
All right. Couple of reports, one for Student Support Services. Parent Involvement Night is tomorrow, February 26th from 6 to 7. It'll be at the Carson City Public Library. The topic is to learn how the library can help your family with literacy. Tours, activities, they'll have tours, activities, and you can receive a library card, and Spanish translation is available. March 19th, 5:30 to 6:30 at Mark Twain Elementary School. Sarah Billings will be there. She's a speech language pathologist, and we'll be learning how language and communication are essential to success in school and in life. And then April 23rd, 5:30 to 6:30, Children's Museum of Northern Nevada, learning about brain development and social maturity, which may be relevant tonight. With the high school, Carson High School, let's see, Choose Your Own Adventure on February 19th. Invited all 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th graders and parents for the 2021 school year to learn about three options at Carson High, including Jumpstart, Career Technical Education, Honors, and AP courses. Jumpstart applications are due March 12th, and I believe you have to have completed Algebra 2 or be in the process of completing it. And I've had three kids. One went to Jumpstart, one went AP, and one did kind of the traditional normal track, if you will. And I can tell you there's no bad choice. Find what's right for you, and that'll be the right path for you. Couple of announcements. Girls varsity basketball team finished the regular season by completing a sweep at Douglas on 2/14. They then went to Reno High on 2/18, won a playoff game against the Huskies. Then they battled Bishop Minogue and had the lead at halftime at the Spanish Springs High School, but couldn't pull it out. Boys varsity basketball team defeated the Douglas Tigers on 2/14. They earned a playoff spot against Spanish Springs. Boys had a great game, but they lost to the number one seeded Cougars. Carson High wrestler David Reamer won a Nevada State Championship in the 195-pound weight class. I used to wrestle in high school, so that's no small feat. I never got there. Carson High competitive cheer took third place in the advanced non-tumbling large division at the USA National Cheer Team, so congratulations to them. ACT exams were today for juniors, so I'm sure that was fun. And at the Nevada State First Tech Challenge Championship on 2/22, the robotics team placed second in the state. So those are my announcements for student support services in the high school.
Thank you. So we will have a presentation for the Nevada Association of School Boards, and so any questions you want for them will be during that time. Laurel and Deb will be happy to entertain questions. And seeing Tanya and Laura in the audience reminds me that all of our schools are probably finishing up their access testing, which to those who don't work in the schools, that is quite an event. And that assessment takes a long time. There are multiple components. And so to all of our ELL teachers and students and administrators, thank you for all the hard work, because you've earned a little bit of downtime. So hopefully most of you had the day off. So with that, we'll move on to association reports. This is for discussion only. None. Seeing none, we will move on to public comment. Seeing no public comment, we will move on to informational update from the Future Farmers of America program at Carson High School for the 2019-20 school year. This is for discussion only, and I'll invite Charles Mann and Rebecca Glocknitzer. Ooh, that was good. Please state your name for the record before you address the board. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Rebecca Glocknitzer, and I am the Agriculture Mechanics and Capital FFA Advisor. And I wanted to start out by letting you all know that this week is National FFA Week. And Nevada FFA has been blessed with a visit from Lyle Logeman, a National FFA officer. And the Capital FFA has been asked to host the keynote speaker at the Governor's Mansion on February 27th. This event will start at 6 p.m. and you all are welcome to join us. We have invited our neighboring chapters and are looking forward to this event. Also, Zion Belcastro has been working hard putting together events for FFA Week. We have various dress-up days and 2 events going on. On Thursday, one lucky teacher will get to kiss Bambi, who is a pygmy goat. And then on Friday, we have the muddiest vehicle competition, and the muddiest vehicle wins a free car wash. Also in March, we will be traveling to Reno with 19 students to compete at the Nevada State FFA Convention. We will be competing in meats evaluation, agriculture mechanics, the FFA creed, extemporaneous speaking, poultry, veterinary medicine, and parliamentary procedure. And we leave on March 17th and will return on March 20th.
And good evening, everybody. I'm Mr. Mann, or Charles Mann, the agricultural science teacher at Capital and Capital FFA advisor. We want to thank you for letting us come here tonight to share our accomplishments as a chapter. Carson High School has had an FFA chapter in agricultural science program since 2011, and since that year, we have had state winners almost every year. This past year, we have had the opportunity to compete at the National FFA Convention in 2 different events, which Alana Jeffries will then fill you in about.
Hello, I'm Alana Jeffries. I'm the chapter president this year. Let's see. At Zone, we received an overall bronze. Nationals. My bad, sorry. At Nationals, we received an overall bronze emblem for our poultry CDE team. Mackenzie Meza and Juliet Kahui both received silver emblems, and Zion Belcastro and Ben Turson received bronze emblems. Katie Cullen, who had also already graduated, but got the honor of coming back and traveling with the team again, competed in the National Dairy Handler Contest, where she received a silver emblem. On February 1st, we took 12 students to the Western Zone Contest at North Valley High School, and where Kelly Strasser will talk about. She is also our chapter's creed speaker, which she will also be presenting to you.
Hi, I'm Kelly Strasser, and basically the zone contest is a practice for state. And at zone, both the agriculture mechanics team and the meats evaluation team placed third. In Katrina Creek, in extemporaneous speaking, and the poultry team placed second. And then I placed first in Creed, which I'm now going to present to you all. Born not of words, but of deeds. Achievements won by the present and past generations of agriculturalists, and the promise of better days through better ways, even as the better things we now enjoy have come to us from the struggles of former years. I believe that to live and work on a good farm, or to be engaged in other agricultural pursuits, is pleasant as well as challenging, for I know the joys and discomforts of agricultural life and hold an inborn fondness for those associations which even in hours of discouragement I cannot deny. I believe in leadership from ourselves and respect from others. I believe in my own ability to work efficiently and think clearly, with such knowledge and skill as I can secure, and in the ability of progressive agriculturalists to serve our own and the public interest in producing and marketing the product of our toil. I believe in less dependence on begging and more power in bargaining, in the life abundant and enough honest wealth to make it so, for others as well as myself, in less need for charity and more of it when needed, in being happy myself and playing square with those whose happiness depends upon me. I believe that American agriculture can and will hold true to the best traditions of our national life, and that I can exert an influence in my home and community which will stand solid for my part in that inspiring task. Thank you.
Again, thank you so much, school board members, Superintendent Stokes, for allowing us to come here tonight to talk about all of our accomplishments at Carson High in the Agricultural Science and FFA program.
Thank you. Do we have any questions from the board? Joe? Joe and then Laurel?
Okay. Well, first of all, congratulations. It is a fantastic program. You know, FFAs, I was never involved in it, but I had a lot of friends that were involved in it when I was a kid. And I think people get quite a bit out of it. I mean, listening to you present just now, what a fantastic speaker you are, number one. And what a great experience that is, you know. Public speaking and writing and all that's important. And when you talk about FFA, you're not just behind the scenes, you know, raising, nurturing animals, going through all of that stuff. But I mean, you're speaking, you're involved in a lot of different things. So I mean, congratulations, and I really hope FFA just keeps growing and growing because it's a fantastic program.
I just wanted to congratulate you guys. I was never an FFA, but I was in 4-H for many years, so I know the work that you put in, and I know a lot of it is work that isn't always appreciated right at the time when you're doing it. So you'll learn great things, you'll develop really good skills and a real good sense of it. It's just going to help you so much in life. So I'm really grateful for my experience. And just so you know, I do really like pygmy goats too. So let me know when you've got somebody over there kissing them.
Well, and I want to thank both the teachers for helping the students with this. We appreciate your leadership. Thank you both and your fellow students for being such great ambassadors for our schools. And listen, if there's something the board can do to support you guys, maybe we could work towards Trustee Wilkie kissing some kind of farm animal. I'd be all in. You just let me know what we
I
need
was
to
hoping
do.
that goat meant greatest of all times, and that eliminates a whole bunch. But, and Mr. Mann, I think you're being a little shy. Didn't you get a national honor last year?
Yes, I did. I am a little shy for that, but yes, last year I was selected as one of 5 ag teachers throughout the nation to be have their programs broadcasted nationwide, and I'm actually in every classroom throughout the nation right now on one of the posters for National Teach Ag Week. So it's through National Teach Ag and the National Association of Agricultural Educators. And then also I was selected the previous summer to be a National Agri-Science Teacher Ambassador, where I had the opportunity for the 18-19 school year to travel to a couple of different conferences to teach other ag teachers on inquiry-based instruction. So thank you for bringing that up.
Well, we really do appreciate all that you do.
I just want to make one comment. I just wanted to thank you, Mr. Mann. My daughter, many years ago, probably was one of your first years at Carson High, had the opportunity
Yes,
to.
she was one of my first floral students.
Yes,
so
take one of your classes, and to this day, she has a skill set with floral arrangements, so she decorates around Christmas when she's home. But thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
So the next item on the agenda is the informational update from the Carson High School robotics team, 5687 Cyber Mafia with the First Tech Challenge League for the 2019-20 school year. This is for discussion only with Sherry Kelly, Josh Barnum, and Scott Duncan. I'll just remind you to please state your name before you address the board.
Certainly. My name is Scott Duncan. I'm one of the coaches of the Carson High School robotics team. I've been coaching for 4 years now. This likely will be my last year, so I do appreciate the opportunity to address the board, as well as Superintendent Stokes providing us with this opportunity to update you on our team and what we're doing. I think this is the third time we've been here in the last 3 years or so, and we appreciate the opportunity every time. I just want to talk a little bit until I turn it over to the students so they can actually show you the robot and talk to you about their season a little bit. We did hand some information out just to try to summarize. There's actually been a lot going on, so it's kind of hard to put it all into words without taking too much of your meeting's time. I think, this is a program, actually, I just heard that FFA started in 2011. The high school robotics team actually started in 2011 as well, so we have that in common. I would say that this, in addressing the board the last few times, hopefully what you've seen is that the program has come into full bloom and has actually been very successful the last few years. Last year, we were the state champions and went to the World Championship in Houston. This year, we fell a little bit short of that, as was noted earlier in the program, taking second place in the state. But we're very proud of many of our accomplishments this year. One of those accomplishments reflects the holistic nature of the program, which goes well beyond the technology you see in front of you and the hardware and the programming, but requires the kids to engage in public speaking, to engage in community outreach. This year, they increased their community outreach hours by over 50% from where they were this time last year. And we're really proud of that. They do many demonstrations. They mentor other kids and younger teams, younger robotics teams. They help at events as referees, as robot and field inspectors. And we're proud of that aspect of the team, the fact that it requires so many different skill sets, some of the graphic design and the materials that you see there, like I say, as well as the public speaking, risk management, project management, and then, of course, the building and competing with the robot. In addition, individually, it's mostly a team sport, but individually, we're extremely proud that this program in the past 3 years has produced the Coach of the Year 3 years in a row, and it's produced what they call a Dean's List Award finalist. There's only 2 in the state, and our team has had one for the last 3 years. In addition to that, last year's Dean's List finalist went on to become a Dean's List winner. There's only 10 in the world, and we're very proud of those accomplishments. At this point, I'm going to let the kids introduce themselves and also show you the robot and tell you a little bit about their season. The robot.
Hi, I'm Casanova Segura. I'm a builder of the robot, and we've worked really hard this season. I'm gonna just go around and the line. People can introduce themselves.
Oh, really? Hi, I'm Devin McAwee. I'm co-captain of the team, and I also drive the robot, and I've been working on the robot. I'm really proud of what we've been able to accomplish this year, and I'll pass it on.
Hi, I'm Sada E, co-captain, as well as head graphic designer and also a driver of the robot.
Hello, I'm Nanami Duncan. I'm the lead programmer and the engineering notebook manager, as well as the coach of the drive team.
Hello, I'm Sam. I'm one of the builders and also the mascot. And this is my first year in the first tech challenge. I'm Andrea Stankus, and I'm the lead builder of our team.
And I'll just quickly point out that Nevin McElwee is this year's Dean's List finalist, representing the state, and he'll be going to Houston in April and be competing there to potentially become a Dean's List winner.
Explain the robot.
Okay.
We built the robot. You know how it's supposed to run.
So we've built this robot throughout the course of the year, and it's gone through two main renditions. One from the start of the season to winter break, in which we completely redesigned it over winter break, and then continued with this design as of now. And then the game for this year, like it changes every year, and this year we must pick up the yellow stones and then stack them on top of the foundation and on top of each other for points. Yeah. Okay. And at the end of the game, it's 2 minutes and 30 seconds. In the final 30 seconds, there are opportunities to earn more points, such as moving the foundation in which you built all the blocks outside of the building site that is on the playing field. And then you must park inside of the site that the building foundation started in. Yeah, and you have to drop your capstone either on the foundation or on top of the highest skyscraper that you've built. So we designed that capstone ourselves through 3D modeling using Autodesk Inventor. And we have gone through 3 main prototypes for that. And this final design has a notch that is able to lock onto one of the stones and onto the foundation on all of the 6 sides of it. So the tape measure is for the end game, where you have to park inside of the building site. The definition of park in the game is that any part of the robot is inside of the location. So the tape measure allows us to extend our robot a far distance while still being relatively far away from the foundation, or from the parking site. Yeah, we used Inventor. No.
It's a manual work. You have to pause the printer and then change the color. We don't have a fancy multicolor 3D printer.
And I'm Sherry Kelly. I'm a teacher at the high school, and I'm also a coach of the team. And I'd like to thank Mr. Stokes, school board, and the district for supporting the program. A lot of logistics were provided for us using high school transportation, and we would never been able to get to this point without their support. So the whole team would like to thank everybody.
And I'll point out, since Ms. Kelly is shy, that she was the 2017-2018 Coach Mentor of the Year for the robotics program in the state of Nevada. And Mr. Barham could not be here tonight, but he was this year's Coach Mentor of the Year. So.
I'll just, a lot is said, it's kind of cliche in education that the jobs of tomorrow haven't even been created yet. And through programs like this and opportunities for students to use some of those skills, you see the controllers there that, a lot of times teachers and parents complain to me about the kids playing video games too much. Well, those skills have helped you guys in this competition, and I think that it really underscores that the future is unknown and what the technologies will hold and what jobs our young people will be holding in the future. And so thank you for kind of leading this group, and great job representing us.
I just want to thank you, Scott, as your daughter graduates this year. Thank you I've witnessed all of the sacrifice and a lot of the time you've put into this program. And just thank you for all of that.
Well, I appreciate that, and I think the program's in capable hands, not only in terms of the teachers and coaches, but also some committed parents as well. So I think it's in good hands for the future.
I just have a question because I know Ninami's graduating. How many are returning for next year's teams?
Yeah. We have one senior and one rest juniors and
Five
one,
seniors, one freshman.
and one freshman.
So for our seniors, sorry.
Well, you just have a strong team for next year too.
So for our senior, what are your plans going forward?
No, I'm good. I'm good, thank you. My plans for the future is going to college and seeking a computer science degree. Which college? Okay. UNR.
Yeah, I think this is, and again, another fantastic opportunity that our students have. And I first learned of all of this probably back in 2013, maybe. And I remember I think it was 2013, maybe 14, when my son's friends were involved in this. And one of the students at the time, Porfirio, he was one of the programmers. And they were having a struggle. They couldn't get something to do what they wanted to do. And he wound up reaching out as far as, I think it was MIT, and made a connection there. And my point to this is not just to say kudos to him, but all these things have great networking opportunities. You don't know where it's going to take you and who you're going to meet. So, this is fantastic. Good for all of you. I wish all of you the best.
Next item on the agenda is the information update from the Carson High School Blue Thunder Marching Band on the events and activities for the 2019-2020 school year. For discussion only, William Zabelski. I'm sure Mr. Fueling would be happy to help you.
We're going from the future to old school.
And
My
please
name's
identify yourself for the record.
Bill Zabelski, band director, Carson High School. And once again, I'd like to thank you. The thing that we're here for is that we recently came back from San Francisco with the Chinese New Year parade. The last 2 years, we finished second and first in that order. We won't know the results for this parade for probably another 3-4 weeks. I don't know what takes them so long, but that's the way it is. Obviously, they're not into technology either. But it's one of the top 5 parades in the country, and top right now is one of the top 4 cultural events in the world. Actually in the world for the parade. I brought along drum major Kenny Fox, who has a video, some pictures and some things. And I'd also like to thank Don Carini for being a chaperone for the parade, and also for sponsoring a taxi for me, so I didn't have to walk through the parade. All righty, Kenny?
Thank you. All right, so I prepared a video. It'll be on here. It's just a couple pictures of our events, the past 3, I believe, including the Chinese New Year's parade. So here it is. It's up on this one.
push it. There we go. All right, I think that's about all we have for you today. Thank you, Kenny.
Any questions from the board? Comments?
Because Mr. Zabelski is a little shy, I believe this is your 41st year of teaching you're completing this year.
It is.
Of teaching music in bands.
On March 1st will be my 41st year anniversary. We'll start 42nd
Congratulations
years
on that.
March 2nd. Thank you.
And I have a follow-up for Kenny. Introduce yourself and what you did this year, and I believe you're a graduating senior. What are you going to do in the future here?
Is this on? Yeah. I was the drum major for the marching band this past year. I led the band, and I conducted, and I led rehearsals and other things of that nature. And next year I plan on going to UNR, and I'm going to major in mining engineering and hopefully join the band up there as well. Thank you.
I just like to thank you guys. We see you when we drive down Solomon. You guys are out there practicing even before school starts and even before the school year starts, and it really pays off. And we're just very thankful for the image that you proceed for Carson High and Carson City. It's a great thing, especially at the San Francisco parade. I had people there and they were like, wow, you have people, a great band from Carson City. So I just want to thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to congratulate you guys too. It's a great program. It's been entertaining us for years. Blue Thunder Marching Band and all the music we have in the school district is just a fantastic asset to our school district and to the community. Thank you for your 41 years and counting. And good luck to you at UNR. Wish you all the best and congratulations to all of you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'd just like to say no, I was just going to say it's a great program. And I especially love the tubas at the football games.
Thanks.
They are the best.
Good job, you guys.
All right. We have informational update from the Carson City High School Carson varsity wrestling team for the 2019-2020 school year, and introduction of state champions David Reamer, first place in the 195-pound weight class, and Thomas Legot, I hope I said that correctly, fourth place in the 170-pound weight class. Welcome, gentlemen. Please state your name for the record.
Hi, I'm Nick Redwine. I'm the high school wrestling coach. I've been the head wrestling coach there for 3 seasons now. I've been with the program about 6 years. I was just going to read because I worked on it real hard on it. So thank you all for having me tonight. I'm here to give a brief summary of the season that CHS Wrestling had this year and to introduce 2 outstanding Carson High School student athletes. The CHS Wrestling team has had 3 goals into each season. 1, we want to win our league. 2, we want to qualify as many athletes for the state tournament as possible. And 3, we want to win a regional title. We won our league after going undefeated in league duels. We only lost 5 total matches in all of our duels this year. We took 11 scoring wrestlers to regionals and qualified 8 of them for state. We finished second place at the regional tournament behind Spanish Springs, which was kind of sad, but we'll get them sooner or later. As a coach, it's hard for me to qualify this season as anything but a success. This year at regionals, I witnessed some of the best matches I've seen in the 6 years I've been coaching at Carson High School. Our success has a great deal to do with the exceptional student athletes that participate in wrestling at CHS. I also have an amazing and dedicated coaching staff that work extremely hard to get these athletes to buy into our program philosophy. That philosophy being to work hard on the mat as well in the classroom, always show respect to coaches, opponents, and the sport, to always move forward and never back up, and to be coachable. Nick Schlager, Justin Barlow, Dan Ailes, Clint Treadway, and myself are all CHS graduates, and we are all CHS wrestling veterans. We relish the opportunity to continue to teach this philosophy and pass on the history and the legacy of CHS wrestling. David Reamer and Thomas Legato are the 2 wrestlers I'd like to introduce. These 2 young men have bought into the philosophy that I spoke of and have taken that philosophy and turned it into success on the mat. Thomas is a junior who is a 2-time varsity letterman. He recently placed fourth at the Nevada State Tournament in Las Vegas. He had a very successful season at 170 pounds. Not only did he place fourth at the state tournament, he was also the Northern 4A regional champion. Thomas is a hard worker and an extraordinary teammate, and I'm looking forward to next year, his senior year, where we're expecting him to improve on his state placing. David is a senior and a three-time letterman. David won the state title at 195 pounds this season. I've coached David since he was a freshman at CHS. It has been his goal to win a title since he walked into the CHS wrestling room all those years ago. He has worked tirelessly to achieve this goal. Lifting weights in the offseason and traveling to tournaments out of state all contributed to the success that he had this year. Along with the state title, David has achieved so much in his high school wrestling career. He's also a three-time Northern Nevada 4A regional champ. He is the highest placing wrestler that CHS has ever had at the very tough Reno Tournament of Champions, where last year he placed fourth. He finished this season with 25 wins and only 2 losses. David is also named Northern 4A Regional Most Outstanding Wrestler for the upper weights. He is also awarded the Northern 4A Regional Officials Award for Sportsmanship, which the Northern officials vote on each year to recognize a single athlete in the region who shows outstanding sportsmanship during the season. David has been a huge asset to CH Wrestling, and he will be missed dearly after his graduation. He plans on wrestling in college and is in the process of weighing several options to that end. Wherever he decides to wrestle, that school will gain a great young man and an exceptional student athlete. I'd like to tell you how proud I am of the whole team this year, especially these two. They wrestled very well all year long. Our whole team did. We came up a little short at regionals, but as long as we keep getting young men and women now like these two, the wrestling team's just going to keep having more and more success for years to come. Thank you all for having me, and thank you for the support that everyone shows our team. I appreciate it.
Well, do our champions want to explain the process to the board?
That's all you, bro. Hello, my name is David Reamer. I'm a senior, obviously, at Carson High School. I would like to thank all of my previous teachers and the whole school district. I believe that all of you guys have played a major role in this championship medal and all of the success that I've had throughout the years. And I just know that without this great fellow, what do I want to say? Fellow companionship, I would say. It wouldn't have been possible. And I'd like to thank my older brother. He's always been there for me, and he's pushed me throughout my whole life, which was super cool. And that was one of the best hugs I've gotten after my win. So, yeah. I plan to go down to UNLV and wrestle for the club team.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Hello. Yeah, I'm Thomas the guy. I just thank you guys for all the support and really appreciate it. You guys are all a huge part of the success we've had as a team, and I'm hoping that we can come back next year and get more placers and winners.
Any questions from the board? Lupe, Richard, Lupe, and then Joe?
No, I'd just like to congratulate you guys. I know it's a lot of work to be a wrestler and to practice and to prepare, cut weight sometimes. My son was a wrestler for a little while, and I know how hard it is. And I just want to congratulate you on your success. And I'm sure you're going to have a lot more success in the future, both of you, and in fact, the whole team.
Thank you.
I also want to congratulate you, champions. That's amazing. I also have a nephew who was a champion in Idaho, and I can appreciate the hard work that you guys put into in the diet and everything. So, and since I want to give a big shout out to your coach. I mean, I know your coach since he was a young boy, and it's extremely impressive to see you, Nick, in this role. You are an amazing role model to our youth. So keep up the good work, and thank you for all you do.
Thanks, Lupe.
Yeah, congratulations to all of you coaches. Thank you very much. You know, wrestling's like all other sports. It's a team sport, but as soon as you step on that mat, it's very much an individual sport. But it teaches you discipline, teaches you camaraderie, confidence moving forward. And I wrestled for a little while, and guys like you made me better because you were much better than me. But, so thank you for that. But anyway, congratulations. It's a great sport, and I think you guys have some great coaches, and I agree with you. I think we're going to keep seeing good things coming from the team.
Can we see the medals?
This is also David's bracket.
See, and this was such a big deal that David used this as his talent part in the Mr. Carson High.
Did he wrestle someone?
We appreciate you guys coming. I know it's hard on a Tuesday night to come here, so with school going, so we appreciate your time.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good luck. Next item on the agenda, a bilingual presentation in English and Spanish to provide information regarding the services offered to English language learners in the Carson City School District. This is for discussion only, and I'll invite Dr. Laura Austin, Nalida Hernandez Juarez, German Fernandez, Victor Garcia, and
Letitia Servin.
Letty Survey.
Yeah.
I'm going to start off in Spanish. This is a bilingual presentation, so here we go. Presidente Walker, Laura Austin.
Thank you.
English Learner Program. Presidente Walker, Superintendente Stokes, miembros de la mesa directiva y la comunidad, es mi placer sincero hacerles esta presentación sobre el programa del aprendizaje de inglés del distrito escolar. Soy Laura Austin, directora del programa. Conmigo está la señora Leticia Sirven. Ella es facilitadora de padres de la escuela secundaria Carson High School. Y también tenemos señor y señora Hernández Juárez. Ellos son padres de estudiantes en el distrito y también sirven como líderes en el distrito y también sirven como líderes del Comité de Padres Puente en el Colegio WNC. También les quiero presentar en los asientos atrás a ustedes la doctora Tanya Scott. Ella es maestra especialista del programa y se les ofrece entrenamiento a los maestros sobre el programa. Para darles una presentación bilingüe lo más eficaz posible, le voy a presentar la información en inglés y la señora Sirven va a presentar la información en español. Pues empecemos.
Let me translate all that.
El sabor, no más.
President Mike Walker, school board members, Richard Stokes community. My name is Dr. Laura Vela Austin. I'm here with Leticia Servin, Mr. and Mrs. Hernandez. We are here to talk about our program of the English language learner. The lady, Mrs. Tanya, which is the program director of the ESL program, and I think that was about it. Huh?
Implementation specialist.
Implementation specialist. And we are going to do a presentation bilingually. Laura Austin will do it in English, and I will translate it in Spanish for you.
We're going to start off with just some fast facts about the English Learner Program. There are currently 1,010 English Learner students in the school district and 1,280 students that have exited the program. Together, they constitute approximately 30% of the students that attend our schools in Carson City. They have that currently participate or have participated in the district's English Learner Program.
Hay 1,010 aprendizajes de inglés en el distrito escolar y hay 1,280 estudiantes que han salido del programa. Juntos, aproximadamente 30% de los estudiantes que asisten a las escuelas en Carson City son o han sido aprendices de inglés.
Home languages represented include Spanish, Vietnamese, Filipino, Punjabi, Hindi, Urdu, Farsi, Persian, Dari, and Russian.
Idiomas en el hogar representados son español, vietnamino, vietnamín, filipino, banju, hindu, ridu, frasi, persa, dario, ruso y eslovaquio.
We are a multicultural community.
Somos una comunidad multicultural.
The majority of students in our program are from homes where Spanish is spoken.
La gran mayoría de los estudiantes son en el hogar de idioma habla español.
The theme of this presentation, the points that I'm going to cover, include
Los temas de esta presentación incluyen:
what is the purpose of the English Learner Program?
¿cuál es el propósito del programa de aprendizaje de inglés?
A parent question, how was my child identified as an English learner?
¿Cómo fue identificado mi hijo como aprendiz de inglés?
What are my rights as a parent of a student participating in the English Learner Program?
¿Cuáles son mis derechos como padre de estudiante que participa en el programa de aprendizaje de inglés?
Where can I obtain more information about the program?
¿Dónde puedo obtener más información sobre el programa?
So first, the purpose of the program. The purpose is to provide English language acquisition for all English learners at a level that ensures equal participation in all educational programs,
Apoyar el desarrollo del idioma inglés para todos los aprendices de inglés al nivel que asegure su participación equitativa en todos los programas educativos,
and ensures the mastery of English literacy skills in order to meet all requirements for high school graduation and to become college and career ready.
El programa asegura el dominio de las habilidades del inglés para cumplir con todos los requisitos para la graduación y de la escuela secundaria y la preparación para la universidad y carreras.
How is my child identified as an English learner?
¿Cómo se identificó mi hijo como un aprendiz de inglés?
In accordance with the Office of Civil Rights Regulations, Nevada Revised Statutes, and the Nevada Administrative Code, the school district follows a standardized process for the identification of English learners.
De conformidad con los reglamentos de la Oficina del Derecho Civil y los estatus revisados de Nevada y el Código Administrativo de Nevada, el distrito escolar sigue un proceso estandarizado para la identificación de aprendizaje de inglés.
Identification occurs on an individual basis based on the demonstrated linguistic needs of the student according to academic records, if they are available, or the language screener approved by the Nevada Department of Education.
La identificación ocurre individualmente. Se basa en las necesidades lingüísticas reales de los estudiantes según los récords académicos y el filtro de lenguaje aprobado por el Departamento de Educación de Nevada.
What is the WIDA screener?
¿Qué es el filtro de WIDA?
The WIDA screener is a brief evaluation of English language proficiency that the Nevada Department of Education requires be administered to students for whom there is another language according to the home language survey that the parents complete, and there is no previous school record regarding English language proficiency.
El filtro de WIDA es una breve evaluación de dominio del idioma inglés que el Departamento de Educación de Nevada requiere ser administrado a los estudiantes para quienes hay otro idioma según las encuestas del idioma del hogar o no hay record escolar anterior con respecto al dominio del idioma inglés.
A little bit more about the screener.
Un poquito más acerca del WIDA, del filtro de WIDA.
We're taking our show on the road. Okay. The WIDA screener measures English language proficiency. The scores range from 1.0, which indicates beginner, to 6.0, which indicates advanced in the 4 language domains: listening, speaking, reading, and writing.
El filtro de WIDA mide el dominio del idioma inglés. Los puntuajes varían del 1, principiante, 6, avanzado, en los 4 dominios del idioma: el escuchar, el hablar, el leer y escribir.
The student qualifies for the English Learner Program with a composite score less than 4.5.
El alumno califica para el programa de aprendizaje de inglés con un puntuaje menos de 4.5.
The kindergarten WIDA screener has a scale of 30 points, less than 28 points, and the kindergarten student qualifies to receive services from the program.
El filtro de kinder tiene una escalera de 30 puntos. Menos de 28 puntos, él o ella, el estudiante de kinder, califica para recibir servicios del programa.
The parents have rights regarding the participation of their student in the program.
Los padres tienen derechos conteniendo jóvenes en este programa de inglés idioma.
School districts must follow the procedures set by federal and state laws and regulations to identify students for the program and to provide services.
Los distritos escolar deben seguir los procedimientos establecidos por las leyes y los reglamentos federales y estatales para identificar y dar servicios a estudiantes del programa.
School districts must notify parents in a language that they understand about the identification and participation of their children in the program. Also, parents must be informed about the progress of their children in regard to their English language proficiency.
Los distritos escolar deben notificar a los padres en un idioma que entienden con respecto a la identificación y la participación de sus hijos en el programa. También, los padres tienen que ser informados sobre el progreso de sus hijos con respecto al dominio del idioma inglés.
The parents have the right to accept, refuse, and seek additional assistance from the English Learner Program.
Los padres tienen el derecho de aceptar, rechazar o solicitar el apoyo del programa de aprendizaje de inglés como segundo idioma.
For majority home languages, school districts must offer parents interpreting and translation for all school meetings and conferences and school and district announcements. In our district, this is offered in Spanish. For low incidence languages, the school district utilizes a remote interpreting service accessed by telephone.
Para idiomas migratorios del hogar, los distritos escolares deben ofrecer a los padres interpretación para reuniones y conferencias. También deben traducir los anuncios de las escuelas en el distrito. En nuestro distrito, interpretación y traducciones se ofrecen en español. Con respecto a otros idiomas de baja incidencia, el distrito escolar usa el servicio telefónico.
Parents have the right to participate in the school district English Learner Advisory Committee to provide their perspective with regard to the program services and how the program can best serve the educational needs of the student.
Los padres tienen el derecho de participar en el comité asesor del programa de aprendizaje de inglés para brindar sus perspectiva como padres con respecto a los servicios del programa y cómo se puede servir mejor la necesidad educativa de los estudiantes.
The next meeting of that committee is Thursday, March 19th, 3:30 at the Gleason PDC Building at 604 West Musser.
La próxima reunión del comité de padres es el marzo 19 a las 3:30 en las oficinas de Gleason por la 604 West Musser Street.
For more information,
para más información,
we do have bilingual resources regarding the program and its requirements available to parents.
Tenemos más recursos bilingües para los padres.
We do have a program, an English Learner Program manual handbook available.
Tenemos un manual para los padres del programa de aprendizaje de inglés.
The best way to access that is at www.carsoncityschools.com. Click on Departments, click on Education Services, and click on English Learner Program.
La manera de poder localizarlo es en el www.carsoncityschools.com. Le hacen clic al departamentos y luego servicios educativos y luego inglés como segundo idioma.
And there you will find bilingual information about the vision, mission, beliefs, and assurances of the program.
Ahí encontrarán información acerca de la visión, la misión, las creencias del programa.
And then we have, I would like to point out a few resources online that are extremely useful. One of them is a message to schools from the U.S. Department of Education, which they have entitled Dear Colleague Letter.
Les quiero informar acerca de un mensaje del Departamento de Educación de los Estados Unidos. Ese es el website donde pueden encontrarlo y es un mensaje a las escuelas que se llama Dear Colleague Letter.
Also at that same link is the Federal Toolkit for English Learners, which is guidance from the U.S. Department of Education and the Office of Civil Rights on schools' responsibilities in implementing the program. I have actually, about 3 or 4 years ago now, actually made that information into a binder because I am a binder person. You don't need to translate that. And if it's in a binder, it's
Les gusta
better.
tener muchos.
Yeah. But in any case, in all seriousness, this binder is has been passed out to all school district administrators.
También ahí abajo está un recurso para que ustedes puedan ver sobre una herramienta para ofrecer el programa. La señora Dr. Laura Austin tiene la carpeta, le encanta hacer cosas en carpeta, entonces ahí está disponible si la quieren ver. Todos los administradores tienen una en sus oficinas de las escuelas.
And then the last resource I wanted to mention this evening is the WIDA. It's the WIDA company. WIDA is the company that publishes the WIDA screener and also publishes the access test, which is the state test of English language proficiency. It in addition to information about its assessments though, the WIDA website has a plethora of resources for parents, and I've given you a few links there.
Igual está el recurso de la compañía de WIDA, de los exámenes de estudiantes. Aquí los padres pueden encontrar información acerca del examen, cómo los niños lo usan y algunas prácticas igual también.
And this is our last slide, but I think you've seen this photo before as the board.
Esta es una foto, creo que la mesa directiva ya ha visto esta foto de los personas que trabajan con el Departamento de Inglés como segundo idioma.
But the purpose of this slide is really simply to open up the floor and ask if there are any questions about the program.
En este momento es para pedirles si tienen algunas preguntas acerca del programa.
Gracias. Oh.
De nada.
I was going to say, maybe Lupe, would you help so that our audience members who are listening in Spanish, maybe you could even translate the comments and questions from the board?
Oh, I would love to, very
Okay.
much. Let me translate what she just said. Hola, no.
Yes, de nada.
Unfortunately, I studied French, and so I don't have very much Spanish. But first of all, I want to thank you very much for doing this presentation.
Primero que nada, le quiere dar las gracias por hacer esta presentación en español.
And also, just as a comment to noting how many ELs are in our school district, 1,010. It's about the population. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Está solamente haciendo un comentario de que nos demos cuenta de que hay una inmensa cantidad de personal bilingüe, 1,100. Is that what it was? 1,000? Yeah. So 1,010.
That's about the population of Carson Middle School about 5 or 6 years ago. And currently there are, or at least from your, there's 1,280 exited English learners.
So es aproximadamente la cantidad que había en el Carson Middle School en el 2016, 2016?
80. 1,280.
No, in what year?
Oh, this year.
Or en este año, perdón, en este año.
Yeah, so
I could clarify that. We keep records of all the students who have exited, of course, but it is also federal regulation that students who have exited within 4 years be monitored for academic success. And those 4-year monitors were upwards of about a little over 800 of those 1,280 have exited within the last 4 years.
Okay.
Sobre los 1,000 estudiantes 28 estudiantes que han salido o ya se salieron del programa de inglés como segundo idioma, tenemos que cuidar y monitorearlos por 4 años y hay arriba de 800 jóvenes que estamos monitoreando durante el programa de inglés como segundo idioma, que ya se han salido pero seguimos monitoreándolos.
Okay. So my point that I'm taking long to make is that there's 1,280 exited ELs, which is the current population of Carson Middle School. So within our district, to me, it helps to visualize there's that many kids that have gone through our program and successfully reached English proficiency.
So definitivamente, say it one more time, I'm sorry, I got lost in. go ahead.
Okay, there's 1,280
So
students.
1,280 estudiantes hay en Carson Middle School.
Yes. And that many students across the district
Todos esos
have exited
estudiantes.
EL.
Y todos esos estudiantes en el distrito han sido exitosos en el programa.
So, good job. And then my question for you with the parent advisory. Sorry, I turned it off, Renee. How many parents are attending the EL advisory committee?
This is our second year, and it varies between 3 and 6 parents at a meeting. Of course, we'd like to get more participation. However, what we do also have is an interest list. We send out a mass mailing telling everybody about it, and then we do get people who call back and say they're interested. Even if they can't come, we send them the agenda, and we, of course, make a personal phone call to remind them of the meeting. And I would say there's probably an additional 10 or 12 families in that regard.
So hay de 3 a 6 padres que participan en el comité de estudiantes de aprendizaje. Se les habla a los papás, se les manda notificación, se les manda la agenda. Obvio queremos más padres que asistan, pero en total hay como 12 padres o padres en la lista que están participando.
And I do have a question. How do you determine when to notify the parents that their students are progressing?
That's a great question. So it is,
So la pregunta es cómo notificamos a los padres del progreso académico de los estudiantes.
it's required, the progress we have to report is the results of the access test annually.
So lo que les enviamos a los padres son los resultados de los exámenes que toman cada año.
So, and those results come out in May, and then they are mailed home. And then in the fall, we have to, again, return to those results and give the parents an additional notification about their participation in the program based on those springtime results.
So en mayo recibimos el progreso de los exámenes, se envían a la casa y nosotros como instituto escolar tenemos que notificar a los padres del progreso de sus hijos y cómo van basados a los exámenes que ellos tomaron.
I have a couple of questions. I think we're doing a really good job in reaching out to our ELO families and recognizing these kids that need help. Going forward, from your perspectives, what else should we be doing? What else can we be doing to make sure we're reaching out to more families?
So estamos haciendo un buen trabajo trabajando con los jóvenes que están en el programa de inglés como segundo idioma hasta ahorita, pero ¿qué hacemos o cómo hacemos hacia el futuro para mejorar con los jóvenes y los papás hacia el futuro, viéndonos el futuro, apoyándolos?
We would like parents to ask more questions about their students' progress, not just of our program, but of course in the schools. But I think what we could do better as a school district is make sure that the students are represented in all, just as we said in our opening, that we are well represented, have English learners through, how should I say this, who are participating with equity in all school programs. And we do keep track of that data. We actually have to report that to the federal government annually. So for example, how many, not so much extracurricular, but the co-curricular, Jumpstart, GATE, advanced placement, honors, CTE. We want to make sure that the parents know that those opportunities exist, and we would like to do a better job and have the phone just ringing off the hook with parents saying, how does my child get into that CTE program? How does my child get into Jumpstart? Similar to I know some of the goals of the Puente program with WNC. So raising the conversation beyond the proficiency of English to the implementation, the application.
Nos gustaría que los papás hablaran más en las escuelas preguntando acerca de los programas, no nomás de cómo les va a sus hijos, acerca de los programas, que sus padres o los jóvenes pueden participar. Como distrito nos gustaría el apoyo, que más jóvenes participaran en programas como el Jumpstart, que supieran como las clases de honores, supieran más acerca de las clases avanzadas, que hubiera más oportunidad de que más jóvenes participaran en todo el instituto escolar en esos programas académicos.
Oh, thank you. And then just for my own education. You mentioned for ELL services, the WIDA is one, the ranking 1 through 6, if you're less than 4.5, you qualify for services. And then for kindergarten, it was a 1 to 30 scale with 28 or under. I was just surprised, why are there so many, I guess, why is the scale so much larger for the kindergartners? Being simplistic myself,
La
it seems like
pregunta
that's
era
simple.
que hablamos acerca del puntuaje del examen de WIRA, de 1 viene siendo pensativos y el 6 más alto, y luego de Kinder viene siendo 30 y 28, porque el número está muy alto. Un poquito más acerca de esa información.
There are two very different types of screeners, the format that they're given. The grades 1 through 12 is an online, and it is holistically, there is some correct and incorrect on the responses on the domains of listening and reading, and then it's holistic scoring with the writing and the speaking, so that gives you more of a scale, a rubric scale of 1 to 6. Whereas the kindergarten screener, this is a great question, the kindergarten screener is only listening and speaking the first semester, listening and speaking the first semester, because we don't expect any kindergartner to read or write, although I know some do. And then it is more of a correct, incorrect. So you literally count the responses. There is some weighting of it, but you're actually counting how many correct.
Son dos tipos de exámenes. Los exámenes de los niños de las escuelas grandes, el puntuaje se basa en lo que es lectura, escritura, tiene 4 dominios. El programa de Kinder es solamente, y las respuestas vienen siendo sí o no, eso es más fácil para ellos. Son dos diferentes exámenes muy diferentes, y los niños de Kinder pues no esperamos que ellos escriban, sino que hablen y entiendan el idioma con una respuesta de sí o no solamente.
I would like to point out, though, that once the kindergartners take the access test, that it is scored on that same scale of 1 to 6, because now the reading and the writing is integrated into the test.
Y ya cuando los niños toman el Kinder, ya el exámenes que vienen anteriores ya se responden con el puntuaje del 1 al 6, porque ya tienen ese dominio del idioma y tienen más, han trabajado más en lo que es escuchar y escribir el idioma.
I'm just curious, if a student does not exit until, say, a senior year, do you still have to track their educational success for 4 years after that?
So, si el joven no sale del programa en su año del 11 o el 12, ¿todavía tenemos que monitorear a los jóvenes por 4 años más?
No, we don't, but I do know that more and more colleges are making accommodations for students. Well, we've always had the TESOL and colleges making accommodations, but now, for example, there are accommodations on the ACT test. The 11th graders can use a dictionary if they're an English learner or exited within 4 years. So even though we as a school district don't monitor them, I know there is more interest, again, in equity as students move forward. So I do want to encourage the public out there to, even if a student is not yet fluent in English, there is still a place for them in college, and they should be pursuing a 4-year degree.
So, aunque no lo seguimos monitoreando los 4 años, los colegios están aceptando a los jóvenes con sus exámenes de ACT. Los jóvenes de inglés como segundo idioma pueden usar su diccionario para poder aumentar los puntuajes. Entonces, aunque no los monitoreamos, los colegios están aceptando más y más jóvenes y dando las oportunidades para que ellos sepan que pueden seguir unos estudios en el colegio.
The Into Reading program the district just implemented not too long ago, I think it has a English language, Spanish portion to it. Has that proved to be valuable to your program?
Su programa de lectura que acabamos de implementar tiene un componente de inglés como segundo idioma de lectura y escritura. ¿Eso le va a ayudar a los jóvenes o al programa?
There is a very strong theoretical basis for using a student's native home language to build literacy. So if that is a direction that the school district or the school board wanted to investigate further, I would really encourage that. We could maybe perhaps do a pilot for interested families, and maybe in 1 or 2 schools. There is a large theoretical basis for that. We have Dr. Cronin Scott and I have actually looked at those materials, and we are putting together just a review, I would say. I don't want to overstate, but we are putting together a review for Associate Superintendent Fuson and Mr. Hicks on how we can integrate the into reading program components with the English learner language development lesson.
Good, thank you.
That's okay. Hay un estudio que demuestra que los jóvenes cuando usan su idioma natal tienen un buen progreso. Entonces lo estamos viendo, estamos analizándolo, estamos viendo si hay un programa piloto que lo quiere tratar y ver si funciona. Hemos hecho algunos estudios acerca de la importancia de usar su idioma natal. That was all in a nutshell.
And I would just like to add that the students that are exiting Dr. Austin's program, they are excelling at WNC at the college level. La preparación que están recibiendo los jóvenes en su programa están ayudando a los jóvenes a ser exitosos en el colegio.
Thank you for mentioning that, Trustee Ramirez. I know I have said to you all before that exiting is the biggest service we can provide for our English learners, the students and their parents, because we have data that is extremely strong, that when they reach that 4.5, they are off to the races, and there's nothing holding them back. Very difficult actually to discern a former English learner from what we call English-only student, because they are so successful in school.
So, gracias por mencionarlo. Yo estoy de acuerdo que cuando los jóvenes salen del programa con un 4.5 de programa, son exitosos en la vida y pueden seguir adelante. So, para nosotros es muy importante sacar a los niños que terminen con un 4.5. So, gracias por mencionarlo.
Just because bilingualism is such a valuable skill. Are you tracking how many of the English learners that exit the program go on to earn the seal on their diploma for bilingualism?
So, ser bilingüe es una herramienta muy importante. Estamos viendo cuántos jóvenes que se gradúan con el sello de ser bilingüe.
Actually, I am not tracking it. I have asked anecdotally. It's not a large number yet, but it is an area that I think my department and Mrs. Fuson, perhaps we need to put our heads together of how we can build that interest. The other thing I'd like to take the opportunity to say is that as our GATE program has become stronger and stronger, and we have our Young Scholars program, Dr. Scott and I were looking again at some theoretical basis for introducing foreign language to our GATE students. So we, of course, have I think it's been presented to you that we have a strong, healthy number of English learners, not all from Spanish-speaking homes, but many, who are in the GATE program. But what a great opportunity to use native language with our brightest students at the youngest ages. If we could build in us, just proposing, but if we could build in a specialist to come in and teach the students Spanish in the GATE setting, there's just such strong data and such a strong theoretical basis for how that increases cognition and for any person. So it's a recommendation I have.
It was too long.
Just say, do it because I said so.
Sí, porque dijo Laura se va a hacer. No, nuestro departamento no está viendo cuántos jóvenes están hablando con el sello bilingüe, pero sé la importancia y hemos hablado con la señora Fuson acerca de hacerlo. Me encantaría traer idiomas en el programa de GATE, si podemos desde estas mentes pequeñas, brillantes, comenzar otro idioma o trabajar con ellos, sería maravilloso. So, estamos trabajando en eso, en cómo traer idiomas en el programa de GATE.
Yeah. Well done.
You guys want to comment on today's
¿Tienen los
presentation?
papás unas preguntas? ¿Quieren comentar una pregunta o decir una pregunta?
Creo que ya las dijeron todas.
I think all the questions were answered already or mentioned already.
Yeah. Una pregunta, para los estudiantes en el examen, ¿los preparan para esos exámenes que hacen o cómo es que llegan esos estudiantes para hacer el examen?
So for the exams, the access exams, the weight exams, do students get prepared or teachers prepare the kids for these exams?
That's a great question. We are working very closely with the English Learner Department, the teachers, the ESL teachers who see the students daily if they are in levels 1, 2, and 3. And so, yes, that we do synchronize with them with the results. That's how they plan the instruction. With the level 4 students, they are in the regular classroom, and we have shared those results with the classroom teacher.
Thank you. She stopped there. Trabajamos con los maestros de inglés como segundo idioma 1-1. Sí, trabajamos con ellos, darle la información a los niños de nivel 1 para prepararlos. Los niños que tienen un nivel 4 están en clases regulares, están agarrando toda la preparación para sus exámenes.
There is, and I would like to, I think maybe at some point I'll come back to speak further about the test itself, but there is explicit practice that goes along with the test, and I'd like to model that for the parents because it's something they can access actually any day of the year.
So, en el futuro me gustaría regresar para explicarles un poquito más del examen. Hay una práctica que creo que es muy importante que los padres sepan cómo hacerlo para que ayuden a sus hijos, pero en el futuro me gustaría regresar en ese tema.
One more question. ¿Cada cuántos años se cambia el currículum de estudio de los muchachos?
How often do we change or work on the curriculum that the students are working on?
We go through a textbook adoption process. The last time we did that was 2011, so we are due, let me rephrase that. We go through a textbook adoption process.
Vamos a un proceso de adopción de textos.
Most recently, we adopted a textbook which is the curriculum. Also, for middle and high school, we adopted that last year.
El año pasado se adoptó un currículum para los niños de los jóvenes de la mediana escuela y la high school, la preparatoria.
We are now currently looking, as I mentioned, at curriculum for grades K through 5, and we are considering using the interreading program or other programs, but that is a topic of discussion right now.
Estamos ahorita en discusión del topic de buscar un currículum para los niños de kinder al 5º grado, y es lo que estamos en proceso trabajando ahorita.
But I would like to really emphasize that the teaching of English, we call it English language development, is a core content area, just like math, science, or social studies.
Quiero arreglar que el desarrollo de inglés es como una materia que estamos trabajando igual como es matemáticas y otra materia.
And therefore, we do need to follow the same textbook, or I should say curriculum adoption process. It may not always be a textbook in this day and age.
Y tenemos que seguir el mismo procedimiento de adopción de currículum como es hoy en día.
Stacy?
So I thank you all for being here and doing this. I know it takes a little bit more time to have the translation, but I think it's really important for us as a board to understand that process.
Gracias por estar aquí. Sé que toma un poco tiempo de traducir, pero gracias por el proceso.
And really appreciate that Hernandez is being here. Have you felt that you've gotten anything out of these presentations?
¿Has sentido que han recibido o han llevado algo acerca de esas presentaciones?
Sí, cada vez, cada reunión.
Every time we meet, every meeting, we were able to get something.
Y bien muy importante, es información que nosotros como comité compartimos con los padres con quienes nos reunimos.
It's information that we take back to the parents that we get together with.
We appreciate you doing that.
Y lo agradecemos mucho que lo hagan eso.
Thank you.
Gracias.
I also want to thank the families, the parents, the moms, dads, and the little ones who came to listen to this presentation. So les doy las gracias a ustedes, a mamás, papás, y los niños que vinieron. I invited them to bring their little ones because I want them to recognize that they're the future leaders. So we want to see them here in the future. So niños, you guys are paying attention. You guys are going to be here in the future. How are you going to get here? Is by attaining an education. Okay, so remember that education gets you to a position where you can be part of the conversation and be able to make decisions on behalf of everyone. Okay.
The other thing is, I went on the website and I looked, and our English learner program is only in English. Is there a way to put it in Spanish too? The handbook.
So, el manual de padres lo vio en el website, está en inglés solamente, está en español, ¿existe en español?
There is I believe a bilingual section that has been, that is posted there. If not, it's my omission. I was just playing around with it the other day. But it is that first chapter it's the only chapter that's been, translated. And the reason is, there's actually a very practical reason, because the program has been changing so dynamically. It's a 100-page document. The program has changed so dramatically that I am holding off getting it translated. We do have it translated within our district because I keep having to return back. It's in the works, but I keep needing to return back to the translator and say, now we're changing the way it's scored. Now we're changing the curriculum for middle and high school. Now we're changing, we've added the parent group, for example. So I think I've become almost, what do I want to say? I've become almost too inactive because I keep waiting for that perfect moment when it's ready to translate the whole thing. But it is, that first section has been translated. I do have hard copies of it. And when I present at parent meetings, I pass it out. And it has been the topic of a couple of our advisory committee meetings. And actually, I also have done focus groups with it. So it is being used.
So, el manual solamente está en el primer párrafo, el primer capítulo traducido, entonces hemos cambiado y estamos cambiando, y entonces no lo hemos hecho porque estamos esperando, es tiempo perdido traducirlo, luego tener que cambiarlo, como estamos renovando y cambiando el currículum de las escuelas. Entonces, ya cuando esté hecho, Laura lo ha presentado en varias reuniones a padres, pero solamente ahorita está el primer capítulo traducido, pero sí existe en el sistema website de la escuela.
And the reason I did have that first chapter translated is because it's very static. It's that basically the fleshing out of all the rights and the assurances and the mission and the vision, because that's not changing, right? That's in law. But the other thing that I wanted to also tell you when talking about drastic changes, the state has changed within the last 2 years, not just even the points. It used to be a composite score of 5 and a literacy score of 5. Now that's a composite of 4.5. But there's also an alternative pathway to exit, which I haven't discussed this evening, that requires its own section in the handbook, and I just haven't had that translated yet.
La razón por qué el primer capítulo está traducido es porque lo básico es la misión, las leyes del programa, entonces lo más fácil. De hecho, el Estado ha cambiado el puntuaje de salirse del programa, entonces han cambiado cosas y estamos esperando ese proceso para poder agregarlo en el manual, pero el primer capítulo es lo básico, las leyes del programa de educación y aprendizaje de inglés.
So I just want to say, one of the things, bringing back to the bigger theme of things. And not only do we have a lot of ELL learners in our schools, a lot of our schools are Title I schools. And so equity is huge. And how do we help students with other languages in the home access education equitably? And go ahead.
No nomás tenemos el programa de inglés como segundo idioma, tenemos muchas escuelas de capítulo 1, entonces tenemos muchos idiomas y cómo ayudamos a los padres a acceder información de cómo ayudar a sus hijos.
And part of it is, how do we welcome families of these students in to feel valued and respected and to become partners in the process?
¿Cómo le damos la bienvenida a todos los padres que se sientan queridos, bienvenidos en el proceso de aprendizaje de sus hijos?
And that's the challenge that every school battles. And so looking out here and seeing young people who have other languages in the home and knowing that a school board meeting is boring for everybody. And when the Spanish parts start up and it's going a little bit faster, my brain starts to tune out. And I envision all of the Spanish-speaking families in my school at family engagement when I'm up there talking quickly because I have 100 things I'm trying to get through in the 30 minutes. And so I think that just having the opportunity for families to feel welcome, heard, culturally valued, And then for our students to see that not only are their ELL teachers valuing both languages, so is the school board, and so is the district administrative staff. And so
Viendo a los estudiantes aquí, me pongo a pensar que están aquí ellos viendo y escuchando una presentación en la mesa directiva del estudio escolar. Yo estoy escuchando aquí cuando comienzan a hablar en español y le están hablando, yo ya no se los perdí. So, imagino cómo se sienten los estudiantes, los padres, y quiero que ustedes sepan que nosotros, la mesa directiva, evaluamos a los padres de aprendizaje de inglés, cómo se sienten, y queremos saber que estamos apoyándolos a ellos también.
And one other thing, I think we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about, we have an excellent program for our ELL learners in this school district.
Tenemos un programa excelente para jóvenes de aprendizaje de inglés.
And, you know, we have Tanya, who has taught many of the educators, including myself, about ELL.
Tenemos a la señora Tania que ha enseñado a muchos estudiantes, a maestros, a aprendizajes nuevos como yo, lo que es el idioma, lo que es trabajar con estudiantes.
But we have dedicated teachers, the paraprofessionals. I mean, those are the real superstars of our programs.
Tenemos maestros excelentes, enfocados, las personas que trabajan, los asistentes de maestros que trabajan con los jóvenes, ellos son realmente los héroes de este programa.
And so, I mean, I think it's just really important to say we value all of their work. They're going to hospitals and DMV and courts, and they're doing all kinds of things to support our families. And so I just want to say we have a lot of people in the school district working really hard on behalf of these families. And I want to say thank you, and we recognize all that hard work.
Quiero agradecer y reconocemos el trabajo duro de todas estas personas que van a los hospitales a traducir, al DNV, llevan a familias a diferentes lugares. O valoramos el trabajo que hacen como en la mesa directiva del distrito escolar, valoramos su trabajo.
Thank you, President Walker, and I just can't thank enough. I mean, I have presented in front of this board now. This is my 7th year in this role, and it is always supportive and energizing to meet with you. So we thank you for your support.
Gracias por el apoyo de ustedes. Esa es la 6ª vez que he presentado y siempre siento el apoyo de ustedes. Gracias.
So, and maybe Laura, you know, as we're looking forward, the next time we do one of these presentations, maybe bringing in the student perspective and how they're viewing this process of, you know, learning English, and also, you know, if they're pushed in, they're pull out, whatever, just kind of getting that perspective as well.
Quizás para la próxima reunión podemos traer un estudiante para ver su perspectiva del estudiante acerca del programa de inglés como segundo idioma, si se siente bien cuando él está teniendo la información que está dentro o lo saca en el salón, pero la perspectiva de un estudiante para la próxima reunión.
Thank you for that suggestion. We would love to arrange that.
Okay.
Gracias por la sugerencia.
Thank you. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
All of you. Thanks.
Thank you.
No, that was a good point. Getting the kids' perspective is important.
Well, we talk about it, we just don't ever get it.
I know.
So the next item on the agenda is informational update to define the role of the Nevada Association of School Boards and introduce the NASB Director, Deb Oliver. This is for discussion only, and we will be led by Laurel and Deb.
So do you want me to go down there, or I'm okay up here? I'm okay.
I-
So
I- we'll
if
let you
want-
choose.
If you want me down there, I'll come down there. So this is Dr. Deb Oliver, who is the Executive Director of the Nevada Association of School Boards. And Mr. Stokes had talked to me after one of our meetings a month or so ago about how we keep talking about NASB and what it is, but he said, could you have Deb come and explain it? Because most of us up here have an understanding of it, but perhaps those even in our community don't understand it. So Dr. Deb Oliver has been our executive director for almost a year, and she's jumped in with both feet and is taking off and and she's flying and she's doing a great job. So when she's not swimming, yeah. So anyway, I'll go ahead and turn the time over to you. And
Thank you.
Let me know whenever you want me to help.
All right, we'll do that. Superintendent Stokes, thank you. Nice to see you. President Walker, nice to see you. Trustees, I'm Deb Oliver, the Executive Director for the Nevada Association of School Boards. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to come and share the ideas that NASB has that we love. The Nevada Association of School Boards is the association for all school boards in the state. So we have 17 counties, 17 school boards, and all 17 school boards are members of our association. So we have 107 individual members, individual trustees that are members, but really it's the school boards that are the members themselves in our association. Each district has one representative that serves on our board of directors that help guide, that are the guides, much a governing body, much like you are for a school district, for our association. The association itself is an affiliate of the National School Board Association, which really provides the federal support in the federal landscape for federal policy, the legislative support that they're looking at, the federal policy that's coming from the federal legislation that comes down, the training and support at a national level for individual associations to be the best that they can be. From that national level goes down to a regional level. We're a part of the Pacific region, which include the states California, Oregon, Washington, Utah, Idaho, Nevada, Arizona. And that's our region. And Alaska, thank you. Can't forget Alaska. We have, in that region, together is the support for each one of our states, things that are happening legislatively within our region. What are we going to support? How are we going to support that? But also from our region, what's happening at the federal level and the legislation that's going on and the advocacy work that's happening at the federal level. We have a voice as a state through our regional representation. That region is very important to us, being one of the smallest associations. Okay, we're the smallest association in this country. But you know what? We're small and mighty because within our region, our voice now has become stronger within our region as one of your trustees here, Trustee Wilkie, is now our chair-elect for the region, meaning that is, she is going to be our regional chair next year, and our executive team of NASB has also gotten very involved in our regional meetings, in committees that are happening at the regional level, which gives us a voice. So we're not just the tiniest association in the state now. We're a part of a larger picture, and we're helping drive that the messaging and things that are coming across from a regional level. Our region recently submitted a letter in support of some things going on in the legislative area that we're making an impact there. So within the region, not only are we becoming involved there and having a voice within the region, it's also a huge support for us as a state association, so that anything that we need, we're able to do. Within our state association, we are very active in legislative advocacy work. A big piece of what we do is supporting public education and how we see it going on. We know what's going on legislatively right now with the financial things, as your CFO is very involved in the financial situation that's happening, and we're very supportive of the members of our districts that are there. We have currently, we'll be looking at other legislation to support our trustees within the state through NRS 451, which is the one bill that really asks for the certified public officials training to happen for all school board trustees. That CPO training, that certified public officials training, is very important to allow our trustees to be the best trustees they can be, to understand all aspects of what it means to be a public official, but to guide and govern a school, a school district. NASB is the provider of the training for that, those requirements that we have. Not only in specific CPO training, but other governance support and training, coaching that happens. We also offer services around superintendent searches and policy work. If there's a district that we have that needs support in policy work, we don't do legal advice. We leave that to the legal people. What else do I want to tell you about that? A huge growth area for us in this past year, and as we look forward, is that professional learning that NASB is providing. It's quality, it's at a very low cost to districts, and as often as we can do it will be no charge, or at the most minimal charge that we can do for the support and development that the trustees need. The basic underlying principle of our association is to give our trustees the support that they need and the voice to support public education, not only in our state, but within our region, and then also that leads us to that federal level as well. So there, how's that for a tidy thought there?
Thank you very much, Deb. And also, just for those that don't know, the training that NASB provides to school trustees across the state includes open meeting law, ethics, governance, superintendent, board relations. There's a whole, what's happening in education that's something we should be informed about. There was a really good training at the regional conference on trauma-informed education, on how to better educate those students that have suffered traumas. There's education and training on EL programming, on GATE programming, on one-to-one programming, a lot of things that we're already doing in the district. But their support in helping to train other trustees across the state helps other districts improve the programming that they offer as well, and improve the behavior, hopefully, of the trustees on the boards, so that which is interesting to me, that school board members are the only elected officials required by Nevada statute to receive professional training, which by and large, our board and most boards across the state are receiving the training that is required. So, anyone have any questions or anything else you'd like to add?
I'd just like to add the training that I've attended that's been sponsored by NASB has been excellent. Some excellent speakers. This last training in Sparks just a couple weeks ago, excellent. And I just appreciate you putting so much effort into finding such good speakers and presenters. Thank you.
Thanks, Trustee Varner. I appreciate that.
I'd like to echo Trustee Varner. I attend a lot of conferences, not just with the school board, but in my daily profession and whatnot. And truly, the NASB conferences are run very well, engaging speakers, a lot of participation, and they're just, I really appreciate the effort that goes into it. I know a little of something, and I know you jumping in here, this being your first year, you've jumped in with both feet and really put on some excellent trainings for all of us. So I want to thank you for that.
Well, thank you.
And then I have a question for you in terms of, the situation we're all in as districts. What do you see NASB's role, if any, in terms of our financial future for all the districts? We have 17 districts in Nevada, and when we look at funding going forward for the next 4 years, many districts are arguably on the losing side of what might happen. Some aren't. So NASB's kind of, you've got memberships that are on both sides of that equation. How do you cautiously get involved in that?
Well, thanks for the easy question. We think of, with NASB being the advocate for public education, we're going to do what our membership deems, says, how do we do that? So the association itself with each district having representation on our board of directors, that's where the direction comes from of what action that we take, and understanding that no action is action. And I think looking forward, there will not be a time where there's no action. There will be some sort of action, even if it's stating that we're taking no action. We're here. A key thing for our association around the funding model that's happening right now is, as a governing body, our goal is to support our superintendents in designing, developing a budget, and making sure that we have the goals and the supports for our superintendents and their cabinets and who they have to do what they need to do. So NASB now takes a back seat, if you will, but really more in a partnership way with NAS, our Superintendents Association, and letting them take the lead in that arena, because that's their area of expertise. We are going to support their trajectory, or where they are in the, within that. So it's not that because we do have 17 different districts that are all having a different impact of one way or another as it's being projected. But I really think the best way to say that is we are supporting our superintendents and letting our superintendents take the lead in this, because that is their area of the district and what needs to happen.
Well, and when you really think about it, the superintendents answer to their boards. And so it really goes hand in hand.
It does, and that's why there's that partnership.
So, and I would just say, I find you a great thought partner. You and I have talked about a lot of issues, and then she's also, Deb is very supportive of schools. She's been to music programs at my school, and no, she doesn't have children or relatives that attend the school. So, I think that you've done a great job of outreach and getting to know not only trustees in school districts, but also the schools, and got to know students. And so I think that is really valuable. And so I think you've been a great addition, and I really value the work we do with you.
Thanks. I appreciate that. We are all advocates for excellent student outcomes.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Other questions? Thank you. We appreciate you taking Tuesday night and joining us.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Next item on the agenda, designation of Rife Silva and Company LLC as the independent audit firm for fiscal year 2020 in an amount not to exceed $63,000 as budgeted, as required by NRS 354.624. This is our possible action. AJ Feeling.
Good evening, trustees. AJ Feeling for the record. Each year, every school district in the state is required to designate an auditor before March 31st. As per NRS 354.624. The audit firm of Rife Silva, who their partner, Dave Silva, has been performing audits for us since 2013, has submitted an engagement letter. The total amount that the proposed fee is $63,000, which is the same as last year, which I wasn't, I was expecting an increase this year, so that was a pleasant surprise. Just as a reminder, and I say this every year, the firm before we had Mr. Silva, in the last year of their contract, I believe we spent $89,000 for our audit fee that year. So that was 8 or 7 years ago. So that is presented to you for consideration for approval.
And he lowered it last year.
He did.
So that's another thing to,
Yeah, when I
to keep in mind too.
I gave him a bit of a sob story on our budget, and he fell for it.
Oh, it was no sob story.
Yeah, no, I know.
So do we have any questions of AJ? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
I move that the Carson City School Board of Trustees approve the audit firm of Rife, Silva and Company LLC as the auditors for fiscal year 2020 for a contract amount not to exceed $63,000.
All right, we have a motion by Dawn, second by Stacy. Any discussion by the board?
I just want to publicly thank Dave Silva and his company. I mean, they not only kept fees the same this year, but as was mentioned, I think they've been really very good to us, not just financially, but all around. I think they've been great partners to work with. And I just wanted to publicly thank them and ask you to pass along. I think I can speak for everybody to say that we're very happy with what they've been doing for us.
And we're glad that he didn't have to be here until 9 o'clock too. So tell him we didn't hold that against him. We totally understand.
I'll pass that on. Thank you.
All right, any public comment? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Feeling. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the consent agenda, and this is for possible action.
I move that the Carson City School District Board of Trustees approve the consent agenda as submitted.
All right, we have a motion by Joe, second by Stacy, or by Laurel. Any board discussion? Public comment? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. So next item on the agenda, we have informational items listed. Does anybody have questions for Mr. Stokes or staff?
Just, I got a text from Dr. Ward during it that she forgot to tell me about the rezoning meeting at Fremont Elementary School tomorrow at 5:30. So Thursday, sorry. I see, it already feels like Wednesday. But Thursday, February 27th, 5:30 at the library at Carson Middle School.
And Laurel, don't feel bad. All day I've been thinking it was Wednesday. So probably one of these days I'm not going to go to work thinking it's Saturday or something, so. Okay, so no other questions of informational items? Next item is requests for future agenda topics. Okay. So one of the things that I talked to a couple trustees, and there were questions about really as we're looking at roles and budgets. So the instructional coaches have come up a few times. And so at our next board meeting, we're slated to have a workshop which will be focused on the roles, the numbers at each school, and then who would do that work if we didn't have those coaches. So that was submitted to Mr. Stokes. We have that planned. I told Mr. Stokes, I've been getting a lot of questions everywhere I go about the budget process, and I think that probably similar to how we've kind of had a couple forums about rezoning, I think that we probably want to lend an ear to staff and the public and kind of get some of their perceptions and ideas out of the process before we make any final decisions.
How are you thinking of doing that? What is, having it at a meeting, or are we going somewhere?
I think I'm envisioning that might be like a forum, like we've done for the rezoning and I think, I remember having one of those forums in 2007 at Carson Middle School. And just kind of giving the public the opportunity to share their thoughts, because there seems to be an appetite for that. So I can't imagine I'm the only one who's fielding a lot of questions and concerns. Any other requests for future agenda items?
I just want to.
Go ahead.
Not a future agenda item, but since we're getting ready to adjourn, I just wanted to thank the board tonight. We started off our meeting in closed session with, what wasn't, was challenging, and I just want to say thank you to everybody. It's a pleasure to be on a board that can look at things from different perspectives, and maybe not always in the end, be going the same direction, but in the end, I think we work together really well, and everybody respects the opinions of everybody else. So I just want to once again thank everybody for being a part of this board. It truly is a pleasure to work with everybody.
That's why we're School Board of the Year.
Thank you. Okay, with that, we will adjourn at 9:06.